When you understand the dynamics of a mirage, you will see right through the illusion. Hey everyone, this is Kevo. Welcome to another video for Right Side Up, the truth review channel for you. A mirage is an optical illusion that is caused by certain conditions, and like all good optical illusions, such as the impossible trident, at first they can be difficult to comprehend. But if you take the time to examine what you see, the truth will reveal itself. In the flat versus globe debate, some of the information being hailed as truth is done so out of ignorance and some out of deceit. This video was posted by Jeranism on October 25th, 2018. The original source video was posted by Phuket Word almost a year prior, and to date, no one has put the pieces of the Mirage puzzle together. Well, it's time to get your jigsaw on, because I've got the clues that will fill in the gaps. Before I get to my observations regarding this video and some of my own footage, I will mention that you can easily search and read up on the details of how a mirage is formed, and I suggest that you do. However, no one seems to be explaining where a mirage is formed. So the first clue I will give you is topography. Now with that said, let's get cracking. The location in Phuket Word's video is Bang Wat Dam. And if you check in Google Maps, it will tell you that this strip of road is relatively flat, then slopes up quite dramatically. Well, Google is not always accurate, as can be seen by these images from Google Maps Street View that contradict its own data and shows reality. The road, whilst relatively flat, starts to slope down from about here, and then even more so towards the end from around about this point here. It is also peppered with numerous high and low points along its length, as evident in Phuket Word's video. This is an important factor that I will come back to. Phuket Word does point out that the road is not 100% smooth, but that is all that he has to say on that point. Once again, I will come back to this later. I will point out that Phuket Word starts out refuting evidence of ships disappearing from the hull up and other large-scale observations, and then continues on to claim that a small-scale observation is all that is needed to see the truth. To which I agree. However, you first must be prepared to see the truth. He then likens Soundley's Lake Pontchartrain curve to the apparent curve of the railings to be the same, and later points out that the railings go back to being straight upon raising the camera. What he does not point out is that the railings bow in and out, and likewise the tops do not form a straight line. The unevenness of the railing creates varying results in the mirage effect. He jumps to an image across some water with houses on the opposite bank and shows the mirror effect, but neglects to show a comparison from a higher viewpoint. Take note that he claims that the purple line is where the surface, that being of the water, meets the shore. Now if you believe that, then you will believe me when I tell you that this house here is owned by Donald Duck because he wanted a house not by the water, but instead in the water, with a literal sunken lounge. Okay, we'll come back to this video later after I lay some groundwork that will help you to see through the confusion. Search mirage on road, and the examples you will find will show you that the points where a mirage will appear when you're on the right angle correspond with the highs and lows of the surface. The mirage happens across the low points, making an apparent reflective surface that is relative to the viewing angle and distance. When the angle and distance is not enough, the next high point will become visible. There has to be a dip or drop in the surface, and then when an object is on the other side of that area or protruding above the mirage, it will then be reflected. I took this short video to demonstrate this even more so. The distance to the hills in the background is about 8.5 miles, and the surface undisputably dips down between there and my viewing location. The road surface goes over a hill, levelling out slightly before the main hollow of the landscape. In this shot you can see that the angle and distance create a small mirage in this area, but the rest of the landscape is unaffected. Going down to ground level, and if your viewing area was only the gap between the hills, you would not know that there was any mirage effect occurring. But with the hills in the shot, you now see the effect. Raising and lowering the camera shows the effect transitioning across the hollow as the angle and distance changes accordingly. Take note that Phuket Word states that the upper limit of the mirage is the actual horizon line, and when you go up, the horizon always rises to eye level. So I ask the following: where did his imaginary horizon go in this example? Let's go back to his claim of the horizon over the other side of this body of water. Looking at these images that I took from one of my other videos that show the type of comparison that Phuket Word does not, and it is clear to see that there is no water in this area, and if you remember the road examples, then you will understand that at this point the water curves down to the beach slopes up, creating the hollow required for a mirage to appear, which means that this house is not underwater. Sorry, Donald. Another quick example from one of my videos is this coal terminal, which is viewed from 3 different elevations. At a distance of 14.5 miles, the terminal is behind the horizon line in all 3 shots. Once again, the question is, if the upper limit of the mirage effect is the actual horizon, then what's going on here? Also, while watching this yacht make its journey seaward, you can see that the mirage effect appears and disappears intermittently in front of the main mirage area as the small waves lap up and down, creating the required hollow sections. You can see in Phuket Word's example with the cyclist that if he were travelling on the imaginary flat plane that supposedly continues to rise to eye level, remember the claim that the upper limit of the mirage is the true horizon/surface level, he should be completely visible above the mirage the entire length of the journey. So now that, in regards to the topography of the viewing field, you have further insights as to where a mirage will form, watching Phuket Word's example, you will now be able to determine the truth. So like I said at the start of this video, small-scale observations will show the truth as long as the investigation is large-scale. The dynamics of a mirage require the surface to dip down and away from the viewer in order to come into play, which is quite the contrary to Phuket Word's absurd, possibly deceitful, but most likely ignorant claims. If you think this video represents the real truth and you want to help spread it, then the best thing you can do is like, share and comment. Subscribe and click the bell for more truths, and with all sincerity, I thank you for your time and efforts. As always, remember to search with an open mind, share what you find, and together, let's get everyone right side up.